North Catholic has defeated the Freedom Bulldogs by the score 48-43. North Catholic is your WPIAL 3A champions.
They worked hard for it, Alex. They had to earn it in this game. Freedom did not roll over and die by any means. They had no quit in them tonight, as was their motto this year. But North Catholic was the better team in the end, beating Freedom for the third time this year, Alex. It's always hard to beat a team for 3 times. North Catholic did that tonight to win the WPIAL 3A championship.
And as you just heard, North Catholic is home to the WPIAL Class 3A WPIAL champion Trojanettes, as they are well on their way in the Class 3A PIAA championships, as well as they're searching for more, as we are broadcasting to you from our North Catholic studios in Cranberry Township for this episode of our podcast on North Catholic Athletics. My name is Alex Brown.
And I'm Ryan Barrett.
And together we are your hosts for this podcast. And what a game that was, Ryan, in the WPIAL Championship.
Yes, it was, Alex. It was exciting down the stretch. You got it close, down to 2 points. Under 2 minutes left. Freedom put up a fight with North Catholic. Was able to pull it out in the end, and they've been doing good in states, Alex. 3 wins they've had in states so far. 2 of them have been blowouts. The last one is a lot more of a nail-biter where they're actually down at halftime. But let's look at those games and how they got to this point in the semifinals of states.
They started out in the first round of states playing Penn Cambria, and that was a game that was at North Catholic in their first game. It was just 5 days after their WPIAL championship victory against Freedom, and they won that game against Penn Cambria 52-36 as they put the boots to Penn Cambria, especially in that fourth quarter, as North Catholic has had some phenomenal fourth quarters. But as we saw in that game against Freedom in the WPIAL championship, Ryan, they don't play the best third quarters. They let the teams get back into that game.
The starts of the third quarters have been
the
game that we announced. Who was it against? Was it against Laurel?
Yeah, that was yes.
Laurel put up a run in the start of the third quarter. It was like a 16-point game, and then Laurel cut it to, I think, 5 points. And that's definitely a cause of concern, but it hasn't costed North yet, as they've been winning.
And then after that, they played Lakeview at Slippery Rock University in the second round of the Class 3A playoffs. And there's so many rounds of the PIAA playoffs. It's ridiculous. And they crushed Lakeview 56-25 as they got over 50 points again, is what they continuously did this year. As I believe I think they were the highest scoring team in all of 3A for the girls. And they continue their winning ways again there at Slippery Rock.
Yeah, but the next game, they played Forest Hills at Norwin. They won 60-52. Elena Rocco, Daisha Lewandowski both had double-doubles. Rocco at 26 points with 10 rebounds, and Lewandowski at 22 points and 10 boards as well. Trojanettes, it was a tight one. They were down at halftime. It was 42-42, and then North closed it on an 18-10 run to get the big win.
And that just shows the clutch ability and the big game ability of these players. And for me, that starts with the coaching staff. They got Coach Rotman there, who's been there for a long time. She's an established coach in Western Pennsylvania and in the state of Pennsylvania in basketball. Doesn't matter if it's girls. She's an established coach in all of basketball. She's got her 500th win. I think that was a game against Penn Cambria where she got her 500th win. As number 499 was the one against Freedom. But what more can you say about Coach Rotman and the coaching staff here at North Catholic?
Yeah, she's been incredible. Alex is 500 wins now, or is it 502?
502 now.
502 wins. I mean, that says everything you need to know about Coach Rotman.
It really does. 10 WPIAL championships. 10. Count them, 10 WPIAL championships. And she's won 5 of the last 6. 5 in the last 6 years. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. And now it's a little bit of deja vu as they play their WPIAL championship opponent, Freedom, for the 4th time this year. And Ryan, tell us about the history of these teams this season.
Well, North Catholic has won all 3. Freedom's going to get their 4th chance. The first matchup was a 64-49 win for North Catholic. And the next one was a lot closer of a game. It was 48-43. And then the largest margin of victory, of course, was 64-49. But North Catholic's won all 3 games. They beat them in the WPIAL championship game as well, 48-43. The second time they played them was at Freedom. It was 52-47. But Freedom isn't a bad team, Alex. They got Shea Bailey, and if she can make her 3-pointers, she can keep them in the game. And she won that game for them last night, along with Renee Moorbacher, who played really well, was also got a game-winning basket against River Valley, Alex. This is going to be a fun game, and Freedom's definitely going to want this win. I mean, It's hard to beat a team 3 times, so now it's going to be even harder to beat a team 4 times in a season, Alex, and especially at this big stage that is states.
And it's a local game too. It's at North Hills. It's at a pretty it's in a pretty neutral site in between the two teams and Freedom and North here. And that's going to be a phenomenal atmosphere. 7 o'clock at North Hills this Friday. If you can get there after the fish fries that most people go to on Fridays, attend, and that'd be really appreciated. It's going to be a phenomenal game as you're going to see these two teams battling out for a spot in the in the PIAA championship at States the next week, and that's going to be phenomenal. But what a season for North Catholic. And even next year, I think they're going to be very good next year as well. As you only have 2 seniors graduating.
Back. Yeah. You have Atlanta Rocco now being a junior. I mean, they won't have as much
Ava
depth.
Walker will be
They
back.
haven't had that much depth this year, Alex.
Yeah.
But maybe a couple incoming freshmen. Some players that are on the roster step up. Some of the freshmen that are this year step up, so they have some of that depth, because that's definitely going to be much needed this year. They only rotate about 6 players this year.
Yes, and now next year they'll have Ava Walker back as well. That'll be big as well, especially in the paint.
Oh, yes.
That'll be big in the paint. As they've struggled in the paint this year on both sides. And that's what, and especially with rebounds. As Freedom, that's something you need to look out for in this game. Because I remember when we were announcing the Whitfield Championship game against Freedom, the rebounds was something that was incredible, how much they were out-rebounded over the course of that game in the paint by especially the Moorbachers, Jules and Renee Moorbacher. And that's something they're going to have to look out for in this matchup in the semifinals. And with that, we'll talk about them again on the next podcast. Hopefully, we'll talk about them bringing home a state championship, and that'd be phenomenal. And we wish them the best of luck in their semifinal matchup this Friday, as you got to beat Freedom first.
Yep, and as the winter sports wind down, Alex, let's take a look at the next big sport. Spring sports, baseball, Alex. Baseball is back in the MLB and in the PIAA, Alex. It's going to be a great season for North Catholic. As you'll hear from Coach McKay, Augie Maslo, freshman captain, Tommy Shafale, as well as Blake Primrose in a few minutes here.
And baseball team, I mean, last year they won the section, Ryan. They won the section. And they only lost a couple players. They only had a couple seniors last year in which they lost. They lost Nate Higgins and Rocky Kopak to be were the main guys they lost. They lost a couple of people who just didn't come back to North as they transferred out over the course of the last year. But they're still a good baseball team, and they got some athletes, especially a lot of young athletes this year too.
Yeah, definitely. Augie Maslo is coming in as a freshman. Coach McKay had a lot of high praise, said he's taken that leadership role this year as a freshman, which is really surprising to see for someone as young as him. But I think he's going to have a big impact on this year. And there's a lot of players like Blake Primrose. He had significant varsity time last year. He had some home runs, and he's expecting at least 8 or 10 home runs this year, Alex.
Yes, he is. And then you got Central coming up this Thursday. And Central, even though it's only like a scrimmage, Central's 6A and the North Catholic is 4A in baseball in the Whitfield. And it's an interesting matchup, though, because you don't see that a lot. These two teams face off in baseball. And at least you don't see it in many sports at all, really, nowadays, as you just saw in hockey this year.
We had it in basketball as well, hockey, yeah.
Basketball, but it's coming around this year, which is great to see. But it's always going to be a rivalry, though, right?
Yeah, definitely. What, is this going to be the third sport that's played Central this year?
Third sport.
Hockey won, basketball lost. Let's see if we can get the rubber match here for baseball on Thursday.
The rubber match for baseball, that's excellent, too.
And by the time this podcast comes out, that game will most likely have already been played. So if you want to know the results of that game, go to the North Catholic Athletics website or just look it up, try to find the score.
Yeah, that's going to be a great test for North Catholic earlier in the season. As I said, it's a young team. You got the infield. Augie Maslo is going to be playing shortstop, as you said. And then you got Tommy Curley. It's going to be a second base. You got Blake Primrose in there as well in the infield. And then you got the pitching is going to be up for grabs in a sense that it's going to be the best pitchers are going to play the most games. That's what Coach McKay was saying. You'll hear that in just about a minute. But pitching, when you think about baseball, you think of pitching. That's the most important. And that's what they're going to have to iron out over the course of this year. And without further ado, let's hear from Coach McKay, right, Ryan?
Yes, Alex, it was a good interview. A lot of good insight on the upcoming season and how he got to this spot as his first-year head coach for North Catholic.
Here he is now.
We are here with the North Catholic Trojans baseball coach, Coach McKay. Coach, thank you for taking time to talk to us.
Oh, it's great to talk with you guys and share information about the program. We're really looking forward to a great start, and you guys do an excellent job in promoting North Catholic athletics.
Thank you.
We really appreciate that. Thank you very much. But first, let's let the people know a little more about you. You tell us about your career around baseball and just how you winded up at the top step of the North Catholic dugout this season.
Yeah, I thought about this the other day, as because we're headed towards our first game now, and 26 years ago, I graduated high school. So we don't need to talk about the actual year, but you can do the math. And I started as a coach at that point in time. Immediately after I graduated high school, it was really important to me to um, share the game in other ways, with other students of the game. I did that by starting the Junior American Legion program in Murraysville. And ever since then, every year I've had my hand in baseball some way or another. Eventually, I was the varsity catching coach at North Allegheny, then the head coach at Vincentian Academy, where we created a very successful program. Then I became a school counselor in between there. Spent some time in Florida, was a head coach down in Florida for a few years, but home is Pennsylvania, and so now I'm home. This position as a school counselor opened here at North, and then the baseball position opened, and God just had a plan for me, and here I am today.
Yeah. Coach, with inheriting a team that won the section last year, they also had a couple departing players. How do you set this program up for success again this year?
Well, from the looks of it, I think that we are potentially even a stronger team than last year. The team was very young last year. There are a few guys that graduated and maybe a couple that didn't come back. But the nucleus is still there, and some of the freshmen that we have coming in are amazing talents as well. Augie Maslo has come in and just shined across the board. He's the freshman captain of the team. I have named him captain of the team, Augie Maslo, just based on his abilities and his work ethic. He's come in and he's set a tone for everybody, and so I think the expectations are even higher this year than last.
So that decision to make Augie a captain, that's a big decision as a captain, especially as a freshman. And you say that's based on what the coaching staff is basically expecting him to perform this season.
Well, he earned that just based from the first day I came in. What I said to this team was, I want to see what you do. I want to see how you act, how you carry yourselves, because these are all the makings of a champion. And I said, go ahead, go stretch out, show me your routine. How do you get ready for practice? And they all kind of looked around, and Augie said, let's circle up, and he started leading the stretches. And I was like, wow, freshmen just had no problem taking over right there, and everybody listened and everybody followed. And as the weeks went on, a similar pattern like that continued. And as we got to tryouts, it got to the point where it was clear, and I tell these young men all the time, I have a stopwatch running in my head at all times because baseball's about speed. We have to do it faster than anybody else. And this whole time I've just seen that that's what Augie Maslo focuses on. He focuses on his speed and his strength, and he is by far the fastest kid on our team. And he got that way based on his work ethic, and he comes early, he works hard, he stays late. He does everything that you want a player to do without even asking.
Building off of that last question, what is the importance of leadership on a team, and what characteristics do you look for in a leader?
Well, most importantly, to be a person that is building others up, that is looking at the other players, trying to find ways to make them better, but doing it in a way that, the other guys respond positively. Just to speak a little bit of the way that Augie does that, he does it by example. He doesn't have to tell people to do anything. They see what he does, and then they follow him. And they want to be like that. And so you don't always have to be vocal in your leadership. As long as you're building the other guys up, showing them what they need to do, and they're receptive to it, that's how you become a leader in a program.
What facet of the game is the team going to be excelling in this year, and what's going to need some developing throughout the season?
We are certainly a very strong defense. The 8 guys behind the pitcher are going to be phenomenal. As a coaching staff, we talked about how we've got a lot of Division I and Division II baseball players realistically on our team. They're young, they're 9th, 10th grade, very few juniors for the most part. But the defense is going to be strong. The bats are going to be very strong. The base running, the speed, all strong. The question mark for North Catholic is, what's the pitching like? Are you going to be able to go out there, and when it's time, are you going to be able to dominate a good hitting team with your pitching? And that's coming along. That's the part that I need to nurture the most. And we're building on that. And Justin Stupka, Joey Prentice has decided to join the club.
Oh, wow.
Patrick Synan. Tommy Shafale, who you'll get to hear from in just a little bit. These are all guys that we expect to contribute on the mound, have the potential for huge things. I mean, Joey Prentice and Justin Stuka have unlimited potential on the pitching mound. They just haven't done enough of it overall to merit the consistency yet. But that's what we hope that they do, and we hope that that little question mark actually becomes the most dominating pitching force in the Whitfield this year.
Coach, is there a certain identity that you want your team to take on this year?
Well, I'm really trying to push the Catholic identity, and it's a new thing for me. I was the head coach at Vincentian Academy. I was a lot more competitive, a lot younger at the time, didn't have a son, things like that. So I was a different person then. I still have that same competitive edge, but I want us to be competitive and compassionate and respectful. It's one thing to want to win. I want the team to do what it takes to win. I want them to do the little things. I want them to give their best effort. I don't want them to care about winning, because to win, you have to do the work it takes. You have to take care of the little things. You have to put the reps in. And so that's our focus, and that's what I want our identity to be. The team that works the hardest, that believes in themselves, and they put everything out there at all times, and we don't care about results because those come from the hard work.
Another note about like Joey Prentice. If Joey Prentice can throw football like the way he does, he can throw a baseball pretty darn good, I'm sure. And then would you consider it important to schedule some non-conference games against higher class teams in order to get ready for the conference slate like you got coming up here with Central Catholic?
Absolutely. The higher level of baseball that you can play, perform in, and build your confidence in, that will all, fuel the year. And so having the opportunity to play Central Catholic tomorrow, on St. Patrick's Day as our first scrimmage, it's going to give us a great opportunity to see where we stand early in the year, kind of match up against what could be a bigger, stronger team. I don't know that yet because I haven't seen we haven't lined it up yet.
Yeah.
But that's what tomorrow is for. We'll find that out, and from there we're going to go back to the drawing board, fix what we need to fix, and high five where we need to high five.
To finish off, Coach, what goals do you have for your team this season?
Oh, every goal, every team, I would think, has the same goal. We want to go out. We want to win the section. After we win the section, we hope that puts us in a good position for playoff seeding. Then we want to win the Whitfield title, come back, ring the bell, and get ready for the PIAAs. And my goal every year is to win a state title. I haven't had one yet. And so, while it is the goal every year, I haven't had the fortune of being there. And whether that comes this year or over the next 3 years, I really think that this baseball team is poised and competitive enough to be in that conversation.
Well, we really appreciate your time today, and we'll get you back in here before playoffs, hopefully.
Anytime you guys want to talk, I'm up for it. You guys just keep telling everybody how awesome North Catholic is and how committed we are to excellence, and we'll do it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We're here with North Catholic baseball player Augie Maslo. Augie, thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.
Augie, coming in as a freshman, what have you noticed about the culture that Coach McKay's tried to instill in this team?
Well, a lot of hard work, not much downtime. He's really big on if you have any downtime, just keep practicing, keep doing what you do best, and honestly, it's just go out and play as yourself.
With being named a captain for this season, do you feel any added pressure on you to play well this season?
If I'm being honest, I would say no, just because I know the capabilities of how I usually play, and with me, it would just give me more intent to do better than how I play.
Well, that's a good thing, though, right? That's a good thing. Yeah.
What would you consider your biggest strengths to be as a player?
My biggest strengths for me, I would say my glove 100%. I would say that my defense is pretty solid.
That's good, though. Tell us a bit about your game, because we don't know you that well here at North Catholic. We want to get to know you because you're going to be a captain. You're going to be a big point on this team here in the years to come. What can we look forward to seeing?
Hopefully a lot of records in the record books, and hopefully a lot of hits, a lot of stolen bases, and hopefully a lot of W's with the team.
Got like Ricky Henderson over here.
Lastly, what do you hope to accomplish in your first year at North Catholic?
What I hope to accomplish in my first year is to hopefully start to crack the record books at North Catholic and just see. First, I want to see what the records are before, and hopefully just year by year slowly try to break those records and hopefully become one of the known people in the school.
Well, we wish you well on that quest, and we really appreciate you giving us that time today.
Yep, thank you.
We are here with Tommy Shafale from North Catholic baseball team. Tommy, thank you for letting us talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
Tommy, with last year winning the section your freshman year, but exiting early in the playoffs, how has that made you guys hungrier this year to get back to that point and maybe get even a little bit farther?
Well, that was very disappointing end of the season last year. So we've been working extra hard this year, and we just want to get after and go even further and hopefully make it to the Whitfield game.
Going into your sophomore season, what have you been trying to improve as a player?
For me personally, last year I struggled a little bit at the plate, so I've been putting in a lot of extra work with hitting, and I've been doing a lot of pitching work too, and hopefully going to be contributing a lot of innings on the mound this year.
You guys haven't had a lot of practice so far. This season's still early, but you guys got a scrimmage tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day, against Central Catholic. So will that game be a game where you guys will still be trying to figure things out and just try to get used to things?
Probably, yeah. We're going to be trying to figure things out still. We haven't played together, so we're going to be working on team chemistry, working together, seeing what works.
You mentioned that your batting wasn't as good as you'd like it to be last year. What have you been doing to try to improve that going into this season?
Just lots of reps, lots of swings, drills to work on, just getting in the work and making sure this year it turns out the way I wanted it to.
And I had the ability last year to be announcer for senior night last year. That back at Pullman Park, and I saw your arm from the outfield firsthand in that game. Your arm, how do you practice that in terms of a practice situation? Is that something you can practice during a practice? Is that something you can only really replicate in a game? That kind of like situations to get that arm going.
Arm strength?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can work on arm strength, like using plyo balls, working on just building it up in the off season, doing drills, throwing a lot, working up your arm strength, and that will go into the game. Yeah.
Lastly, what are your personal goals and his goals for the team as well this season?
My goals, I just want to be the best I can be, contribute the most I can to the team, make the routine plays. And for this team, I'm obviously hoping to make it to the Whitfield Championship game.
All right, thanks, Tommy, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you.
We're here with Blake Primrose from North Catholic baseball team previewing their 2022 baseball season. Blake, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Blake, with winning the section last year, how does that motivate you to get back and repeat that feat again?
Last year we had a good year, and we just want to repeat it this year. Our work ethic this year is a lot better than last year. We're expecting a lot of good things this year with the new coach too. A lot of standards you have, and we're pushing ourselves to win a Whitfield title this year.
With the work ethic being better, as you just said, does that mean in terms of off-field work or maybe trying to more self-improvement outside of the field?
Absolutely. We've been getting together a little bit earlier since December. We've been together, and out of it, we've been hitting as a team, and we've been communicating better as a team overall.
What are you focusing on improving going in your sophomore season?
I mostly want to improve on my hitting. I feel like I did it pretty well last year, but I want to improve on that this year. Catching, I didn't catch last year, but this year I'm catching, and this year I've pushed myself even more.
Do you have any specific home run or RBI goals for this season?
This year for home runs, I'm expecting like 8 to 10 home runs.
8 to 10?
Yes.
That'd be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And RBIs, I don't really know, but whatever I get on RBIs,
Whatever
I'll be
you get,
happy
yeah.
with. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
With playing football as well, does that help you in any way for baseball season?
For football, I got in shape a lot. I ran a lot, did my thing, and with lifting too, we lifted a lot during football, and that just got me to get stronger.
With baseball and football, two completely different sports. Is there one that you like more than the other?
Yes, I like baseball a lot better.
Really?
I've been at baseball since I was a kid, same with football, but I feel like baseball, I have more of a college experience to go with that, and I just like the game of baseball better.
You mentioned that the team has had a really good work ethic so far this year. Is there a good chemistry as well amongst the players on the team?
Absolutely. We all communicate well with each other. We all talk. We all make jokes with each other. And when someone's down or we pick each other up and get back to it.
That's great. Central tomorrow. What are you guys expecting?
Oh, we're going out there expecting to play our game. Going out there to just win and see what we do as a team for the first time. And yep.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for for your time today, and we wish you the best of luck this season.
Thank you.
And he's heard from Coach McKay, Blake Primrose, Tommy Shafale, and Augie Maslo, Alex. Those are all great interviews. We thank them for their time. And that wraps up our podcast, Alex. As next week, we're going to probably have a volleyball preview podcast, maybe with some interviews there as well. So another spring sport to look forward to, but a bright baseball season ahead for North Catholic.
It really is. And boy, are we lucky with the sports we have here at North Catholic. The success that, as Coach McKay was talking about, the success here at North Catholic, it's really some excellence in so many of these sports. And we really are blessed to be able to cover it all here on the North Catholic Sports Network. And until next time,
We are your one-stop podcast for everything North Catholic athletics.